Welcome back to our community forum where we talk about anything and everything that's St. Thomas related. And here with our host, Mayor Joe Preston. How you doing today, Joe?
Oh, great to be here. Hi, Margaret. Good to look. We immediately have guests and friends, so that's fantastic. Great, and it's really good to be here. We saw a bit of summer over the long weekend, and we saw a little bit of winter, and we saw a little bit of fall and a little bit of spring. If we could just sort this out to all be in one row, we'd be okay. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
This is perfect. We've got Adam Montgomery getting called out by Wesley Shaw to join the show.
Right.
I wonder what Adam's got about.
Yeah. Well, Wesley was telling people that the show was on tonight, and I think Adam said, "Hey, Wesley, tag me." So Wesley just did what he was asked, and what a great helper for Mayor's Update. It's great. I see Wesley forwards most of our stuff, shares most of our stuff, and asks the hard questions sometimes too. But that's what we're here for. So.
Yep. And for anyone who doesn't know, Adam Montgomery runs a food Facebook page. I think it's like the honest food reviews for St. Thomas and local area.
Right.
So it's quite fantastic if you want to get a kind of a lowdown on what's available to eat, and a lot of varied reviews, which I like too.
Well, it's great. It's not always perfect. It's here's what I did love and here's what I didn't like. That's fine. As a restaurateur, I want to be able to fix what I'd like to fix too. Right. So I love the Facebook. I was going to say website, but it's not. It's a Facebook page.
It's a Facebook group.
Great things to eat. London and St. Thomas and surrounding areas, but fairly St. Thomas centered. So Tim is mad because I stood him up for breakfast this morning. All right. I was to have met him this morning. I messaged him and said, "I'm sorry, but I'm with the member of parliament and I cannot get away." I thought that was an adequate answer to his breakfast problems. Apparently it was not. He's now called me out on Mayor's Update that I stood him up for breakfast. So, Tim, I'm deeply, deeply sorry for not having breakfast with you.
That seems like a pretty heartfelt apology to me.
I
hope you take that for what it is.
Yeah.
So now I've posted the group in there.
St. Thomas and surrounding area, honest food reviews and specials. It is just a great place to learn more about new businesses too. Hey, been a lot of noise about the opening of the Wing Guys.
I've been following this back and forth. I love it.
Hey, and I love the Wing Guys. Look, I love every business that's really busy and really trying their best, right? So, hey, you out there that give a new restaurant a chance. Obviously, soft openings is why we do some of that. That's why we do it. So, wait a second. I want to read what Adam said to me. So, fill in the blank here while I do this.
Do you want me to? I can read out what he said, so the viewers. I can try and it's fairly large, so I'll try and show it on the screen, but it might just break my software here. Yeah, it won't show the whole thing because it's so long. So I'm going to read it out for you guys. All right. Joe, with Poutine Fest canceled because of bylaw 992/126, 2009, limit of 6 food truck permits and zoning, you stated we went from 0 to 6 permits. However, I believe we also had 6 permits last year. Do you feel that maybe daily, everyday food truck permits need to be separate from event food truck permits? This festival, while albeit outside and not locals, like you wish, would have brought people from other cities to St. Thomas, and a good chunk of them probably would have visited local stores and bought from other merchants that aren't in the food industry, all a part of tourism in St. Thomas. Stated back to Malcolm Lake on St. Thomas happenings. Malcolm Lake, why have special events from out of town? There was not a local vendor for this event, a traveling group. As I stated, it would bring cash flow to other local merchants and businesses from out of town groups. Could this event not have been rezoned to the park or St. Anne's away from downtown, etc.? It feels as if he was unwilling to work anything out due to the fact that these were not local vendors. Seems to be the same in the past and possibly going forward with Rib Fest as well and other events. Yes, I'm aware that was the other council mayor, but had the same outcome with no resolutions. There's a whole bunch of stuff to unpack in there.
Right. So let's start off with Rib Fest. Rib Fest, the last time anybody from Rib Fest came to St. Thomas to try and say we'd like to hold Rib Fest was 5 years ago. It was a previous council. I would I would have voted differently. But that's as a restaurateur, I've been working hard to try and get food trucks to St. Thomas, and as we've gone now into this year to 6. Yes, there was 6 last year also, but with COVID, there was no events for them to be at or places to be. When we did the food truck bylaw, we asked also the downtown, what's your thoughts on this? The Downtown Development Board said no food trucks in the downtown. That would be our wish. The rest of council, I said a vibrant downtown has food trucks, right? But no. So when the bylaw stated that we could issue 6 licenses, but none of them could be in the downtown, that caused that to happen. I'd like to think we can look at that again, and I would think a food truck any place in a parking spot downtown, provided it's not out in front of a restaurant. We're trying to do both things, and that's protect the bricks and mortar restaurants. And thank you, Adam, for the work you do at looking at restaurants. But I think sometimes we also need to look at what the protection side of that piece is. I know when we talked about ice cream carts, the ice box said, well, wait a second, I spent money on my building. And so we want to make sure we're fair both ways here. Food truck can be, if they have a license in St. Thomas, a permit from St. Thomas, basically anywhere but the downtown. Most of them congregate on the home hardware site because the Gearlinks just, it's great that they let them be there, right? But when other trucks from other places who are not permitted in St. Thomas tried to come to St. Thomas, even the food truck operators said, wait a second, he doesn't have a permit here and I do, right? So I'd rather protect our local food trucks. And then this was an extension of the Poutine Fest. We heard nothing from the gentleman trying to set up Poutine Fest. We heard rumblings that it was about to happen or going to happen. We realized it's a traveling road show of a number of food trucks from Eastern Ontario and Quebec that just go different places. Last week they were in London, apparently. But other communities have also not had them. Owen Sound was another one that said, wait, we've got food trucks, we've got things in our own community. And so we didn't say no, because if you don't ask for permission, we don't say no. They went and said, well, we have everything you need for a special events permit. Well, we didn't need a special events permit because you're talking about a piece of property downtown where we can't put food trucks. That was the answer there, is that piece on the corner of Ross and Talbot. They had gone to the owner of it and had been told by him, I guess, you won't need anything here. You won't need to do a special event permit. And well, yes, but you can't put food trucks there. Certainly not St. Thomas food trucks. And even they, because the downtown board has asked for them not to be in the downtown core. That's, I think, did I get all the questions? So I'm okay with more permits. I don't think we quite got to 6 till late last year. So we stuck with the 6 this year as the number of food trucks in town. I'm happy to revisit what number that might be of food trucks. If we have more people in St. Thomas that have food trucks, great. Because it's not a small annual fee that you have to pay to have a food truck in St. Thomas, but then it's not a small annual fee you pay for taxes on your building if you have a building in St. Thomas. So it's trying to be, equitable with buildings, our own taxpayers too.
If they got a special events permit for, say, Pinafore Park, would they been able to hold that there and have people from out of St. Thomas come in as food trucks?
Well, because those out-of-town food trucks don't have permits in St. Thomas. We designate a certain number for our local food trucks, right? And so that would be it. If we're looking to add a something that is only out-of-town food trucks that have paid nothing to the city of St. Thomas to help compensate people who have restaurants here, we could have a festival. We surely could, but I think we've been asked and shared with by people who do have food trucks that, well, wait, why are we paying and they wouldn't have to? That was the question on that one. So
yeah, and I think like you're right as well in terms of the businesses that have been struggling. The local food businesses, like a big weekend, can mean a lot of lost revenue from them as well. So it's a hard choice to hurt your own locals who've kind of suffered through COVID, because everyone knows the restaurant industry has been very hard hit by.
look, I agree with Adam on the fact that these types of events draw people here too, right? A number of people probably went to London to the Poutine track fest there also. I hear it was quite a bit of, there was some issues. And then of course there wasn't great weather either, but there was some issues with
Had a tornado, you know.
Well, VIP passes and stuff too. And so anyway, and if somebody asked, which is why you could pick up charges with extra permits. They didn't. This company didn't ask to say, "Hey, can we buy extra permits?" That the point was they couldn't put food trucks, either ours or theirs, on that lot. It's downtown, and right now the businesses downtown, including the restaurants downtown, have said, "Would you please not put food trucks in the core?" I disagree with them, but that's what they asked for, so that's what we delivered. And yeah, Marcus is asking, well, then why? I don't get why a special event can't bypass that for one day. Or yeah, it likely could. It just isn't how it is right now. We don't have a special event here. We had a traveling food truck show, right? And so it was on an area where we don't currently allow food trucks, our own or out of town, on that piece of property. I'm happy to look at it.
If you open it up all the time too, then what's the point of making the decree in the first place, or making that regulation, or going forward in that way? Like you say,
when we had no food trucks at all, and we asked, should we look at a food truck? And we went out and did some pretty good homework to the DDB, to the Chamber of Commerce, to other businesses, including restaurants, because I myself don't find that the food trucks hurt restaurants. It's a different thing, but there are restaurants who believe it does, right? That having a restaurant, a food truck just down the street from your restaurant may honestly take business away. Okay, we can argue that one. I'm on the side of the food truck on that one, all right? But if that's what we want to do next, I'm fantastic, right?
Personally,
all get licenses, but right now we have 6 permits in St. Thomas that are annual. They're not for one weekend. You can't just drop in and pay $50. You pay, I think, $500 or something to have an annual a permit. And so most of the food trucks that have bought a permit are out all the time, 4 or 5 days a week at least, right? Whether it's at Home Hardware or at other places around town. I've seen even Cap's office had a food truck out there, or certainly Rail City Brewery has had food trucks there too. Now that we allow them and they're permitted, right? So I agree. You know, the zoning downtown, Adam. I think that food trucks make the downtown very exciting. Also, I was in Chicago once on the River Walk, and it was all food trucks, and I didn't think any of the local restaurants are being hurt by the number of people that are being brought down there. So I think we need to refine. We're 2 years into this, and what is a food truck? What is a food cart? What is a food delivery, like the ice cream bicycles and stuff? We're trying to determine how many of which we should have.
Because right now we have 2 hot dog carts that we can have downtown. Is that right?
I haven't seen one this year yet, Graydon, but I think we did allow for it to happen, right? Yeah. The sausage guy,
there was
right.
Yeah.
When we did the Raptors thing on the street.
Yeah.
Since then, he's been sausage guy to me. I wish he had a real name, and I know he does. But so yeah, we have to look. It's a fine line. Someone's going to like what we say, and some people aren't going to like what we say. But I love the festiveness of being able to have mobile food at events. Somebody else mentioned, well, what about can we use Pinafore Park for this? And only at parks. Well, we have vendors who pay money to be the food vendor at the park, whether it's 1Password Park or in the in the food vending area at Pinafore Park, and I don't know where we are this year on signing up those vendors, but I know there was a food truck event at the Doug Terry complex, and the fellow who had paid pretty good money to be the food vendor at the Doug Terry complex went, "Hello, I already gave you money, and now you're letting other people come here and do this." So we got to find a way where it works for all. I'm great with it, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe you could do a 1-day pass that was the same as the annual pass for everybody else. I mean, that would make people happy, probably.
Well, it would, if I can get all 6 of the current food trucks to say, yeah, I would like the opportunity not to, even though I've paid for an annual pass, somebody can drive in from London one day and take my business for 1 day by paying $50. I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need, and Margaret, you're right. The vendors at the parks or at One Password and at Doug Terry aren't always there. I get it.
I have never seen them there.
Well, they
I didn't even know they existed when you said that.
But they paid the money, but we right. Well, my understanding, Marcus asked about the vendors for the park. Well, my understanding is we're still negotiating the one at Pinafore Park. So let's give Parks a call and see where you are on that, right?
Okay, interesting.
Look,
all right. Well, this has been a good discussion on this. I don't want to
Yeah, please. I'd be happy to do more. I've taken what you've said as to what we want. I get the consensus I'm seeing here is you agree with the downtown vendors, no food trucks in the downtown. I think as a general rule, I've seen that. Okay, great. The next one is is 6 the right number? I don't think so. I think more than that is as good a number, right? But I would love them to be local operators when at all possible. But those that buy the permits get to be the local operators here in that given year. And perhaps 10 is the better number on food trucks than 6. Mm-hmm. So since we've been playing with this for just 1 year, since the first year was really a COVID situation, we'll see where we get next. I thank you for the information. And
Mayor Joe, if Adam wanted to carry this forward, how would he connect with council to move this forward?
Well, he should talk to me, I guess. Adam, you can reach out to me. I'm too hard to hide, so I'm pretty. And we do mayor's update every week. So reach out to me. You've got my phone number, I think, but if not, call me and let's have a discussion about what numbers you think are right. What areas of the city you think are better. How can we better run a kind of food truck festival? And I'm not against kind of a one-off pass for that kind of thing. If the rest of the people who have paid for a full year's worth of pass to be a food truck operator would also agree with that. Look, I run a restaurant in this town too, so I'd love to make it more variety, more spectacular. That hey, St. Thomas is the place where you can do this. I'd love to hear that. So let's do it. All right.
Perfect. All right. So there's been a little discussion about ATMs in our community over this past week. There's some discussion about security and questions about whether or not the city was doing anything, if they should do anything. Can you bring us up to speed on that whole discussion?
Well, certainly that for the 5th or 6th time on Mayor's Update this year. We talk a lot about it. It's one of the concerns we had was people either sleeping in the ATM or living in the ATMs. The police chief and I called the bank managers or their designate together on all of these to find out, should we have a certain set of hours for ATM? Should they make sure they're locked and closed? Should we, how can we better deal with this? Where does if someone's sleeping in the ATM in the middle of the day, I would expect the bank to go out and say, "Excuse me, would you leave, please?" Right? And if a person wouldn't, then certainly calling the police. We currently have quite a situation with kind of catch and release, and loitering is not a crime that the Crown is letting us currently prosecute. And unless someone has been trespassed, which may be a level up from loitering, even that's going to do nothing but put one more thing on their record, and they'll just be handed a release and away they go. And Adam, that's a great point. Others have said this before. Putting bank card readers on the outside is a way to get into the ATM. Not hard to get a bank card.
Most people have a bank card. That's the problem.
No, including some of the people who may want to live in the vestibule. So we mentioned that to the bank, and they said, well, that's kind of a lost place to start. We said, well, how about making sure that at a certain time of day, a time lock, you've locked the vault, you've locked the vestibule. Well, what if someone's in it? I said, okay, well, that's where a security person comes in. I even met with a couple of security companies in St. Thomas to see what they're willing to take on. What the banks were willing to take on from this, and they said, "Oh no, we really can't work together with the other banks. We're doing our best at our own." Well, with the number of comments I get and we get on here about it still being an issue, right? But a lot of these things could help. As Adam said, the key lock card, right? You can't get in without one. Well, I get it. This banks have suggested that's not one of their answers. We asked, well, how about closing the ATMs at a certain time of night? Most people carry a debit card now, so I'm not certain why cash at a certain time is important, but it is to some people. But the most of the complaints from this week, I think the first one started, well, it was 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, and I'm afraid to go to my ATM. Well, where's the bank? Where is the bank on this issue? I've said if I was having trouble with somebody laying in the lobby at the Wendy's, I'd immediately be moving that person along and saying, this is not the appropriate thing, not the appropriate place, right? And if it took calling the police to do it, then that's what we would have to do. But that's the best I can explain it. We've attempted. Now we're adding this month a new security team, the special constables, to the downtown. And so the special constables will also be dealing with this problem, moving the people along from where they're not supposed to be. And a bank ATM is not where you're supposed to be living. So we have a shelter with capacity. We have places, right? We'll do our best, as we always say. Certainly the RBC has the drive-through, and the Libro has the drive-through ATM, and they have a lot less problems because they don't have an open vestibule to do. So it is, those are the issues. That's what we're trying to do. We'll continue to talk with the special constables being hired for downtown that will be in place kind of late evenings, early mornings. That will probably help a lot. We've thrown a fair bit at the downtown in the last couple of weeks, and as we move into summer, as we always do. Graydon, you and I serve on the DDB, and we know that we bring in our own green team, but our environmental services team is out there now doing early morning litter, both downtown and other places. And and the TD does have a drive-through on the East End also. And now we're hiring on the special constables. They're not police officers. They're special constables to be a presence in the downtown. We think that will make the downtown considerably more friendly to visit. So that's the answer on it. It's not the first time we get it. No, it can't do anything but say, we'll meet with the banks and see if they come up with a solution that they can implement with us. But if they can't, they can't.
To summarize, if you have a person on your private property, it is your responsibility to find a solution to that.
Well, yeah, but if I have someone who is trespassing in my backyard, I'd be calling the police. If someone was sleeping in my shed, I'd be calling the police. I'd first say, excuse me, not your property, move along. But if they choose not to, then please don't endanger yourself, but make the call.
All right, let's move on to a little bit happier discussion, which is
All
about
right.
Canada Day.
I thought food trucks was really happy. Okay, Canada Day. Yeah. We because we're coming out of again an emergency situation that just ended about a month ago. We're rushing to plan a significant fireworks display in Pinafore Park on the Canada Day weekend on the Friday, the 1st.
Mhm.
Uh, Many of our Canada Day events at Pinafore Park were much more than just the fireworks, but we're saying we want the fireworks to be the big part of it. We have a couple of not-for-profit groups in the Kinsman and the Optimist who will also be we're allowing to make some of the money they do. The Kinsman also put most of that into the fireworks, but to run their barbecue refreshment centers in the park from 4 o'clock on. So it's not an all-day event, folks. It is based around there being fireworks at dusk. And so we'll let some of the not-for-profits make a little bit of money, but mostly it's about, you want to go to the park? Fantastic. We have the Pinafore Park couldn't be better. So how about heading over there, take your Frisbee, go to the splash pad, watch out for the mayor. He may be there in his Speedo.
You keep threatening this.
I won't be there. And great play equipment. It's a great place for a family Canada Day. And in the evening, we will have spectacular fireworks thanks to the Kinsman and what the city puts on. It is a great way to go. But we want to share some of the things we think are smart ideas. And over the next 4 weeks, we'll share these a lot. Right? You can park in the park for fireworks, right? You can park in the park for your picnic. You can do all of those things. We're asking as many as possible to park off-site, and we're going to tell you why in just a minute. But you can park at John Wise School, at Parkside, at Memorial Arena, and walk over to the park. We think all of these are great places for you to be able to walk into the park, because after the fireworks are over, the first half hour to 45 minutes, not one car can leave. Right? Because we need the pedestrians to leave the park and not have accidents with cars and pedestrians. So we're asking that be patient. If you're one of the lucky ones who got a spot inside the park, great. Be lucky and happy that you get to stay in your car for a little while after the event while we let pedestrians leave the park. And then when you're leaving the park, you'll likely be asked to only turn right. Okay. Cars parked in the back by the tennis courts can go out that way down Parkside and then turn left. And that's another way to leave the park. But that's after the pedestrians have mostly left. That's what we're doing. We're asking you to please help us with that. Please be patient. A fireworks show ends all at once, and everybody wants to go home. And we're going to ask you to please be patient after a very spectacular fireworks show.
So if everyone caught that, if you're going to go early in your car, stay for the fireworks, and then you're going to have to sit around, Mayor Joe, is it 45 minutes before you can leave?
Probably half an hour to 45 minutes. As soon as the pedestrians have mostly left, there's a crosswalk out front of the park down at 5th. And so that stops that road traffic pretty quick too. And people who have parked over at Memorial need to walk over there to get to their cars. So we'll allow all of that to happen and then say, okay, time to let cars go. There'll be a police car blocking the entrance and exit. You're not going to crash it. So so that's how that will work. It will be less of it will be a family day in the park with fantastic fireworks at the end. That's what we're looking to do this year. That's what we have for entertainment. That's what we can put together between now and Friday, July 1st. So looking forward to a beautiful fireworks display then.
So I just want you to know that Paul Jenkins is advocating for the Speedo, and I said don't encourage him, but I want to apologize for that. If you want to run around in a Speedo, I think that is totally okay. That is, that was
my fundraising aspect of it is. Yeah. So yes, there's fireworks at the park. Not necessarily completely back to normal. It's a different little later in the day and then get to fireworks. And then that's our celebration for Canada Day. Great.
I love it. And guess what? I've got a trivia question for this week.
Oh, great. Why don't we try that?
Yep. All right. So by 1914, there were how many different railways operating in St. Thomas? So by 1914, how many railways, we're looking for a number, were operating in the city of St. Thomas? First person to get that gets entered into the draw.
Well, I don't even know the answer. People will answer now, and I'll have to go to you. Hey,
I've got this one.
You got it? Okay. I'm glad you're here with it. That's great.
And Janet Walker Robinson, I have never worn a Speedo. I don't know that I ever. Margaret McKnight, 8. She got it.
Wow.
All right, Margaret, you're in the draw.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm going to add you to the list.
Great.
Fantastic.
We must have a bunch of other events happening even this coming weekend. We know that last weekend was the long weekend, and we sat very puzzled last Mayor's Update last Wednesday going, boy, there isn't much going on for it being the long weekend.
There was not. It was a sparse weekend for events.
Well, except for what Mother Nature brought us. About all the thunder, lightning, and wind you could. So the queso plant sale is on Sunday. Thank you, Marcus. Yes, perfect. And it's that time of year you may now plant your plants. My mom used to say, not till after May 24th weekend, it doesn't make a difference. Right?
There's a roast beef supper takeout at the St. Thomas Anglican Church. Friday the 27th at 4:30 p.m. It's only $15.
Great.
And if you go to the railwaycitytourism.com events page, you can get all the details on that. So I'm just going to pop that in our little chat here. Boom. And again, we talked about the Port Stanley Terminal Rail. They run trains from Port Stanley on the weekends. You can go on a train ride, which is fantastic. That's also in there. And then we've got the next event page for our area, which is the stthomas.ca, which is the MyFM event page. We're just going to pop that in there. If you're not familiar with that, check it out. That has basically the same stuff aside from minor football fun. Your registration, you got to get that done. And there's a perennial plant and yard sale at St. Hilda, St. Luke's Church. And then, as mentioned, the Queso Station Garden Emporium on May 29th.
And Tara has also posted an event page.
So, perfect.
Right. Look, thank you all. We don't even have to talk about them anymore. We now get our guests and us to just post here. Look up an event. Have fun. Look, there's lots to do in our community. Our local businesses still continue to need your support. So if you're out this weekend, make sure you're out doing a little bit of shopping to go with the fun you're having. That's the best I can ask for. One of the things I didn't mention about Canada Day is we're still asking, follow your good rules. If you're uncomfortable in big crowds still because of COVID, please don't come. If you are okay, keep your distancing. Right? Try not to crowd up on people, and we'll talk more about this as we go. Uplift is on it.
We were talking about that before. That's on our list.
Yeah, we Graydon and I were talking about it and looking forward to it. So, Tara, thank you for sharing that with us too. Of course, the Horton Market every Saturday morning, and I have missed a couple now, so it's time to get back. All right, but
I had to mow the lawn last. Jess and Lily went to the market, but I had to stay home and mow the lawn, which was in some desperate need.
Punished in some way?
What's this?
You being punished in some way?
No,
it's till the lawn's done. Yeah.
There's only so much time.
I moved into the apartment building 10 days ago now. I haven't thought of a lawnmower, so I feel very good.
I was thinking about that when I was mowing the lawn, and then something happened. The lawnmower stopped in the middle of me mowing the lawn. So I had to call my dad and be like, Dad, can I borrow the trailer? I've got to bring the lawnmower into the shop.
Right.
So then my holiday weekend was spent repairing my lawnmower with my dad.
This is the problem with grass cutting. It's more than just running up and down rows. Marcus is going to be doing breakfast all by himself. How did you give the staff the whole Saturday off at the market, Marcus? You've got all the work to do now yourself, but we know you can do it. Right. But breakfast at the market with Marcus is great to see.
Absolutely. And there's also sushi, which we've talked about, which is amazing. At
Fresh
the
rolls, which the mayor kind of likes. Yeah.
I love it so much.
I'm guessing we're getting lots more of asparagus now too. We're into that.
Yes. Loads of asparagus.
Right. And I expected, since I saw blossoms, that we're starting to see strawberries too. So I'm hoping that's the case. Right?
Oh man, it's right around the corner. I love strawberries so much.
Marcus is competing for best boss. That is right, by giving people the market off and you having to do all the work. But there's a couple other bosses in town that think they're pretty good too.
Absolutely. That's
we
have great bosses in this community. There's just so many fantastic companies with phenomenal employers, which has shown as they've kept their businesses in business during COVID. I just popped the Eventbrite link for Uplift, which is Uplift Your Voice, business in your community for SPEC. So go in there, grab a ticket. You're going to love it. If you're a business and you want to get a little reinvigoration from the past several years of the pandemic.
I love going to these types of things, because then I go, oh crap, I wish I'd done that. That was a really good idea. I should do that one next week. Right? There lots of great ideas when it comes to business and business mentoring. There is in this community is also very good. What are you playing with your business award? No, okay.
No.
Yeah.
This is coming soon. Drinking Habits. It's sponsored by the Williams Funeral Home. It's at the Princess Ave Theater by the Elgin Theater Guild. They've sponsored our show, so thank you for that. And now we're making sure everybody knows that we've been talking about it for the past 2 months.
Drinking Habits.
Yeah. Get a ticket. I want to check in. I'm going to check in with Dave and see if they've sold out yet, based on our massive promotion over the mayor's update to our thousands of fans.
Right. Well, but Drinking Habits meant something completely different until we started doing this. Right. So we do thank you for paying attention, and I hope they have sold out. Princess Ave Playhouse is a great place to see a comedy show like that. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic. St. Anne's, want to mention that too. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend. Yeah. Sadly, I'm going to be in Ottawa on an event, but I know other people will be here. I think I'm going to designate somebody to take my drone up to get shots, because I wanted like a drone shot of the Ferris wheel, like
from the ground. Call your drone.
I've got 2 because I've got a backup.
Responsible.
Yes, they'll be responsible. Of course, they'll be. I'm insured.
Not if you let me do it. I'm saying it sounds fun. You're going to let me take your drone up. I don't know if you're smart.
You imagine someone's on the Ferris wheel and they're just trapped there. And they can't get away. The drone is
doing loop the loops through the Ferris wheel. Watch me do this. Right?
I'm getting better and better. Like, there were tractors planting and doing fertilizer over the past couple weeks, and I've just been like flying circles around them, trying to get action shots.
And no farmer pulled the shotgun out of the rifle rack and said, I can get this nasty critter. Oh, wait, it's a drone.
No, I was waiting. I don't know. I was surprised, to be honest. I still have my drones, but I do. But I've got 2. So I've got 2 as a backup, because I would do it as commercial business. So I can loan one out. I'm going to take one to Ottawa, because I'm going to go to Ottawa and then take vacation in Montreal. Right. And I want to get some city shots of both of those cities. So,
well, you'll have lots to share the mayor's update after next week, right? Speedo wearing, drone flying. Yes, we've covered the bases here. This is a manly show this week. Yes, that's what we got. And Drinking Habits. We don't know where that fits.
Welcome to the Mayor's Update, our community forum on all things St. Thomas.
Well, we love to share and answer your questions, and thank you. This week we had a great open forum on food trucks and bank ATMs and the Canada Day. So let's keep having this. Please join us each week. Once you join us, also hit share it when you see it on Facebook. Share it, because a number of people didn't remember it was on at 6:30 on Wednesday night, and then it shows up in their feed and they go, oh, I can watch that again, right? So. And Paul's right. He does a fantastic job of supporting the businesses in our local area. The St. Thomas, Southwold, and Central Elgin Chamber of Commerce area. Look, our businesses are strong when they do work together, and when you have city councils that will listen and look at. If you think we've got something we can do better, I want to hear about it. I may tell you why it can't be done. I may tell you that will take a little bit longer, but mostly we use that phrase we've always used. Yes is the answer. Now, what was the question? And we'll try and make it better. We think there's a limit to some of these. So thank you. And Paul, thank you for what you and your group do too, also.
Absolutely. We have a very strong chamber. We showed some pictures from it the other week, from their business after 5, and just how fun it was at Wildflowers.
Yeah.
So if you're a business and you're looking to connect in with the community, join up with the chamber, grab a membership, join the business after 5s, as well as get all the discounts they have.
And be an active member. There are some great discounts on insurance and other things that you can get, but being an active member, I think, gets you more business than you give. And so fantastic. It's being known in the community helps you do a better job and get more customers. So try and be better than the guy that's next to you. So.
No, it's a huge.
Who's got other questions for open forum before we leave? We've had a pretty quick mayor's update this week, but happy to answer any other questions anybody has. Did anybody notice the new parking lots at One Password Park?
Yes,
we've cut a couple new parking lots in to make it so that there's more parking. And I understand even the Burwell Ball Diamond parking lot was full last night. Also, so perfect. Business After 5 is June 15th at the Port Stanley Festival Theater. I have acted there in 8 different plays, but I'd be happy to go back and visit some old friends. Paul, what a great place to hold a Business After 5.
Oh, it's fun up there. You get up on the patio, and you can like watch the whole. Oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble. Is it Kettle Creek? I think it's the Kettle Creek. I always get mixed up.
That's Kettle Creek going out of
it's Catfish Creek and Kettle Creek, and Catfish Creek goes into Port Bruce. Right. Kettle Creek goes into Port Stanley.
We can call it Kettle Creek too, but that would be really Elgin of us. In July we're at the Horton Market for Business After 5. Fantastic, right?
Love it.
Marcus let us know that it is today National Iced Coffee Day. And thank you from the Icebox for sharing that with us. That's great. It's really late in my day now to go out for an iced coffee, but
I'll have an iced coffee any time of the day. I love them.
Marcus, I will say I moved into the apartment at Elma College, and I've been making myself not walk over to your ice cream store because Stephanie would know. She would smell ice cream on my breath. But I will sneak in once in a while and somebody take care of me. Yeah. So today was National Iced Coffee Day. I'm going to have to have some more tomorrow then. It was a heavy duty real coffee day today for me.
Yeah, me too. I almost had a whole pot, I think. But okay, questions. Anybody have any questions? Let us know. We're going to wrap up.
Paul just asked us, do we have any election insight for the provincial election? And yes, Paul, we are having one. And a week tomorrow, we'll know the answer.
Hey, Paul, do we have a link to the Rogers debate that was hosted by the Chamber yet?
Well, I think I saw Rogers post it. So, yeah, but we should get that, and we'll put it up on Mayor's Update so it's another place you can find it.
Yeah, because I wasn't able to make it, but I really wanted to see that one. I feel like there are a lot of candidates there. We talked about it last week. It would be really great to see that before we make our choices on who to vote.
Well, Adam asked, can we expand Horton Market? Well, it is the size it is, but we're expanding the activities there. And 2 years ago, council decided we would pave what was a really crappy parking lot and put the basketball courts up. We know that we could extend the market more out there, but it would cause you having to park maybe further away on some of the side streets to use it. So the conversation is there that we could do anything at the market, maybe more days a week. And as Paul has said, we're doing the Business After 5 there, and that wouldn't be on a Saturday morning, so it would be another day of the week. Many towns are having one night of week market, and we're looking at what else we can do. Okay, so Wesley has put up that's the debate, I take it, Wesley? Perfect.
Right. Thank you, Wesley. All right. Yeah, I'm going to check that out tonight, actually. because I'm doing the early election voting because I'm going to Ottawa. So
Right. I've watched part of it, so now I really have to find, I'm having trouble putting my life into even an hour at a time. I need to sit down and watch a whole hour of it instead of just the little pieces and fast forwarding through some of those I didn't want to hear. But I guess that's my right. I can do that if I want. Right?
It's the advantage of watching it after the fact, right?
Right. Okay, so now it's up there too from Paul. So we've got it up there. We're laughing. Thank you for sharing that. And that's another thing, folks. If you've got an event coming up, share it with us here on Mayor's Update so we can tell other people about it too. If you've got a special thing happening, whether it's an event or a yard sale or something like that, we'll do our best to share with as many people as we can. So we'd love to be able to help everybody in town if we can. So if you've got something going on, let us know. We started this adventure back in COVID or before COVID, where we talked, and then we got into COVID, and we spent a lot of time talking about where people could get help, how people could get groceries if they couldn't get out of the house, those types of things. It really worked well from a community point of view, and now we're back to where we originally started. Well, let's talk about the events. Let's talk about local businesses and things like what Adam does with the food reviews. We'd love to share some more of that too. If you have opinions, positive opinions, please share them with us so we can share with people some new treasure you found in our community or nearby about what you found and what's good. So please do.
That's what I like about this. We've created a positive community forum for social media, which, as everyone knows, is a very difficult thing to do. But after about, just almost 4 years now of crafting this, I think we have a very healthy dialogue going on here, which is thanks to all the viewers and to you, Mayor Joe, for participating in this and believing in it. And now we're at a healthy discussion level, which I'm so happy about. I can't even tell you.
And it's a forum where you can come. I don't know what the answer is. I need the answer. When will we fix the parking lot at? Those types of things. Let us know, right?
Or the potholes.
All right, sure. The minute we hear about them, we fix the potholes, right?
Yeah. For anyone who wasn't watching when that came up, there was a whole pothole episode.
Yes.
But
we reacted, and we will continue to do so. Are we a perfect city? No. But are we a lot of fun and get a lot of things done? Absolutely. Are we growing incredibly? Yes.
And if you're delivering on Skip and you have an issue with the potholes, you let us know and we'll fix them.
Yeah, sure. All right. Just why don't you just use customer service and let us know where they are, and before the mayor has to do anything, it gets done. That's the best thing. We continue to talk about that too. If you've got something you see in our community that you'd like people to react to, please leaving me a message on Facebook is probably not the right thing. It's great that I can hear it that way, but go to our customer service, www.stthomas.ca. Fill in the form of what your issue is. You can even say, was talking to the mayor, and then it does come through my series too. So perfect.
A perennial question has arisen from Adam Montgomery about the corner of Talbot and Ross and whether it could be put to use. Yes, it is empty, but no, it is a privately owned property.
That's right. We keep asking the owner, hey, what if you're not going to, why don't you let someone else who might? And we hope that like, I think perfectly, a very tall apartment building with shops on the bottom is exactly what it should be. And so if you're thinking you need zoning to do that, and the mayor just said he likes that idea, so perfect. Look, if you keep mentioning it, we're going to see some unique things, I hope, in our community. A big property like that in the heart of our city should be filled with something that is usable by the rest of the citizens. So I will maybe get into mentioning the owner's name. No, I won't yet. Not yet. Yeah.
And Paul Jenkins is saying direct access to the mayor, to the Everywhere Graydon, the CEO of the chamber, the head of SPEC, all on tonight's chat. And yeah, totally. And Tim Hedden.
Tim Hedden. Yeah.
And Adam, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your question as well and getting that dialogue going.
Yes. Yeah. Adam, you're right. We're growing St. Thomas at a pace that is unbelievable. We want to grow it smart. We want to make sure that we have the roads to go with the growth, the jobs to go with the growth, the housing to go with the growth. We will continue to look at things from that, and the parks. And we can't continue to grow if we don't also add the amenities. So we'll continue. But thank you for saying so. We're doing our best. Margaret's right that most people know who owns that property, and let's if you meet them on the street, fix it. Ask them to, hey, when are you building something on that property?
Yes. Talk to them directly. All right.
We better go before we get into trouble this week.
Yeah.
Thank you all for a fun, lovely week and lots of good conversation. Adam, my email is joepreston@rogers.com. I think that's fairly public. So joepreston@rogers.com. Drop me a email, and I will phone you back, and we can have a good long conversation about what we could do better with food trucks. Thanks.
Perfect. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks
again, Mayor Joe. Cheers.
See you next